My name is Joshua Parrish, and I'll be presenting Recruiting That Works at FDIC in the spring of 2017. I'm currently employed by the Milwaukee Fire Department, and for the past 16 years, I've moved up through the ranks from firefighter to captain. I've specialized in technical rescue, hazmat, paramedicine, tactical EMS, and community relations. In addition to my fire department duties, I'm also the vice president of the Milwaukee Brotherhood of Firefighters, and I studied public health at the University of North Carolina. In the past, I've helped both large and small fire departments with recruiting and training projects, and I've presented at the Federal Mediation and Conciliation Service in Washington, D.C., as well as FRI. So for the past 16 years, I've been studying fire service recruiting, and when I speak to some firefighters, the question of why do we need to recruit for the fire service always seems to come up. Now we're going to get to that in a second. While we're thinking about recruiting, let's dig a little deeper into something I like to call the paradox of the fire truck. Now let's do a little thought experiment. Most fire departments will spend countless hours and dollars for a new fire truck, and even more money on its maintenance. The fire department will likely ask your municipality for funds, assemble committees, spec out a design, and visit the manufacturer multiple times. Granted, a $500,000 fire truck is a major purchase, but in a perfect world, you might get 15 years of service out of this vehicle. Now, the average fire department spends less than 10 hours recruiting and hiring that employee that will likely be with your organization for 25 to 30 years. Let's think about that for a second. You meet a person, speak with them for a while, have them sit down and take a test for a couple of hours, and then run through the CPAT for 10 minutes. Maybe a couple of face-to-face interviews for 30 minutes, and a few hours worth of background checks. When you include the fringe benefits, you're likely to spend 3 to 5 times as much on the new employee as you spent on that fire truck. And that employee will have an infinitely greater impact on the organization, able to take you in new and exciting directions, or open you up to untold liability. Now this is how you answer the age-old question as to why it's important to recruit firefighters. Most people that go to school to be firefighters want to spend their careers putting out fire, which is interesting because the first page of any basic firefighting book has an emphasis on prevention. While the actual act of firefighting is vitally important to the fire service, the modern firefighter is called upon to be an all-hazards responder, and in most departments, the responses that this person would most often respond to are medical. 20 years ago, no one could have imagined that the modern firefighter would be tasked with the things that are now commonplace. Things like accompanying a SWAT team in after-shooter situations, inoculating people from H1N1, and visiting patients in their home before they even called 911 would have been unimaginable in the 80s. But here we sit in 2016 doing all these things because these are the services that our citizens demand of us. It's doubtful that the modern firefighter that you recruit will have the desire or the skill set to respond to every hazard that you respond to, or for that matter, the desire to be the chief in charge of your finance section or a labor leader. Yet and still, these positions are the ones that the people that you will recruit will fill in the upcoming years. Now, it's a bad idea to have all or even a majority of the employees in an organization to be one way. The people you should be recruiting need to be interested in the direction that your organization is going in, not necessarily the exact entry-level job that you're hiring for. Now, what exactly is recruiting? The Business Dictionary tells us that it's a process of finding and hiring the best qualified candidate, but it also goes a little bit deeper because the process includes analyzing the job requirements of a job, attracting the employees to that job, screening and selecting applicants, hiring, and integrating that new employee into your organization. When you look at it this way, recruiting is possibly the most challenging task that any fire department will undergo. You're looking to hire a person who will be with the organization for decades, and you want them to be trainable in the basis of your organization, but at the same time, you have no idea what skills will be needed in the next 20 years. While grappling with this idea seems like a daunting task, my classroom session will break it down into smaller bite-sized chunks and give you some simple tools to take you in the right direction. We'll start by finding out how to ask the most important when you're recruiting. Who do you want to hire? When we'll use sound social science and data to determine where to find your target audience and look at some basic tactics that we can use to engage them. After you've determined who you want to recruit, where to find them, then we'll talk about how you can take the necessary steps to keep them in your hiring process and through the academy. If you're watching this video, odds are you've tried some recruiting strategies in the past that didn't pan out, or possibly you're new to a recruiting position in your organization. Whether you're coming from a department with thousands of members or volunteer department looking to attract more volunteers, this class will give you the fundamental tools to take you and your recruiting process to the next level. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you in April.